Welcome to Legacy Elevated. We are here to equip, empower, and inspire the next generation through business and community leaders. Legacy Elevated will revolutionize your business beyond the P&L to further shape your identity as a company and your evolution as a brand. Legacy Elevated focuses on global impact you can have by being hyper-local in charity and community while living with your future legacy in mind.
So we're here today with Venous Chinichian Jones, who is the CEO of Legacy Elevated, and we're excited to share kind of her unique perspective. You know, years ago, it's just over 5 years, I affectionately say, stole her from another industry, and at that time, she was managing and hiring and managing over 130 people every month, and so we knew that she exceeded the talent that we needed within our real estate, our family business within real estate, and also to grow something unique here at Legacy Elevated, and what it looked like to help entrepreneurs and small businesses and to get integrated with the right people. Venus, welcome today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Can you share how your past industry has influenced your approach within real estate and even within helping other companies hire what they need next?
Yeah, I was really lucky to be trained in hiring, recruiting, and promotion. And so for the time being, like you said, for approximately 15 years, pretty much in a 100-mile radius of DC, I was either coaching, training, recruiting, or interviewing individuals that would be in smaller stores. And so it allowed me to see not only what a big corporate hiring process looked like, but also individual stores that had no more than maybe 7 or 8 employees, and what those tactics were, as well as what is the best way to find true talent that's going to match the vision of the company.
Yeah, and as a business owner, I can tell you that I've failed a lot with the people that we've hired and saw that the alignment wasn't there. Sometimes it took me a week, sometimes it took me a year to figure out I did something wrong. So for those that are listening and they're thinking about hiring somebody or wondering if they should, what have you learned when it comes to that? Maybe 3 principles that they could take away just from today.
Yeah, I think the first thing is it's all about numbers. There's no way that you can interview your friend's daughter, someone else recommended, and maybe a third person and find the right person. That's not going to happen. You've got to do the numbers. You've got to have a wide, berth when it comes to who you're going to be looking at for your talent pool. In general, I normally interview anywhere between 150 and 200 candidates before we add someone to our real estate company. And especially for a position like a executive assistant, I'm definitely going to be talking to a minimum of 100 people. And so I think that not everyone wants to do that. Not everyone's cut out to spend 8 hours a day on phone calls, right? I think the second thing is to just throw resumes away. I think people get super excited about somebody's resume, but anyone that can Google can write an exceptional resume. There's so many templates and how-tos and YouTube videos. And so a really phenomenal resume means absolutely nothing to me. It just means that you know how to use, the internet. And then the third thing is really, I am a true believer in paying attention to what people are saying to you, not what you would like it to mean. So if somebody, tells you that they really, are looking up to and their Uncle Greg who just left it all behind and is a surfer on an island, that's a role model. Hey, guess what? They're probably not going to be great at a position that you want them to do data entry. That's not their dream. They're telling you exactly what their dream is, and it doesn't flow with who you are as a company and what you're looking for.
First off, 100 people to interview. That sounds exhausting. And if you're a business owner, you probably already thought about, that's not for me. Is that what the number is? Is it normally over 100?
Truly. Absolutely. Yeah. The last 3 positions that I filled, I interviewed 115, 147, and 213.
And you're doing this way beyond the DMV, right? So,
correct.
So what does it look like where even during COVID, maybe you're not meeting with them in person? Like, how do you really know they're a good fit for that executive or for that company?
Yeah, so it's multiple part. First is I do an interview with the executive themselves. I have been trained in managing by social styles, and so I am able to pretty quickly understand the social style of the hiring person, and understand what it is they need for a right fit. After that, I mean, everything's virtual now. Even in the local DMV area, for COVID purposes, we're still doing things via Zoom. But I've hired for people in New York, California, currently in Colorado. I've got several different clients that are there. And it's really about meeting with the person that I'm hiring for first, spending the time on a phone interview. After that, there's a Zoom interview that I conduct. There's some additional questions that I have them finish. Then I have them meet via Zoom with the clients, and I really observe their chemistry. And do I believe that these are going to be a good fit for each other? And then I'll make my recommendations based off that.
Yeah, and the challenge is most people hire out of pain or need, right? So how do you help someone before they get there, right? What's your suggestions to them, and what level of production should they start thinking about? Hey, I need someone else here.
Yeah, you make a crisis higher, they're going to create a crisis in your life. So that's really a big kind of red flag for me. I normally tell people my interview process is going to take a month. And the reason why is the cost of hire is very high. And what that means is hiring the wrong person costs you a lot of money. There are some estimates through HR that it costs about 30% of what their salary is. So if you're hiring somebody that's making $60,000, you're burning $20,000 by not taking the time up front. And so it's really about, I'm going to be meticulous. I'm going to spend my time making sure it's the right hire because I want it to be the right foundation as we move forward. Beyond that, I think you just got to understand that it's not, okay, once I make this much money, that's when I'm going to get it. It's probably 6 months to a year before that because you really want them to be implemented and ingrained in your process before you technically need them.
Oh, absolutely. And, one of the things I've loved is your passion for learning and education. And one of the books we read that I think kind of influenced just our relationship was Rocket Fuel. So how have you taken that book and implemented it into how you help others hire?
Yeah, that's really critical, right? The majority of CEOs and business owners are those true visionaries. You guys are phenomenal at creating this wonderful world that you want to have as far as business goes, but that's not your strong suit to implement it. That's what you need that integrator for. And for me, that's what I really enjoy. I like finding the missing piece to that puzzle that's going to make the vision work. I like knowing that I've found the perfect partner. And a lot of times, I even say this during interviews, I hate the word executive assistant. You're not an assistant. If you really are doing the job correctly, it's a partnership. It's really taking your business to the next level by supporting them in the right way. And there are people that are visionaries that's what they're born to do. There are also people that get immense joy out of being the ones that make it work, right? I kind of explain that real estate is like the meme of the duck, right? On top of the water, it looks like really beautiful and graceful, and underneath it's just frantic chaos. Well, some people like being the top, looking really graceful, and some of us, like me, I like being in the chaos. I like figuring out the solution to problems.
Yeah, having that integrator is huge, and hiring the right one. Right, and what that looks like, and so many people fail with that, and probably because it's a numbers game, and they don't interview enough people. Right, I've seen too many people hire someone that they like, and who do they like? Someone's like them. Well, if you hire a visionary and you're a visionary, guess what? Nothing ever gets done.
And that's a big challenge. A lot of times, especially in real estate, when people are hiring executive assistants, they hire agents, other agents that are either new or have done it but couldn't really, make it work for themselves. And
they hire somebody that failed in the industry.
Yeah,
right?
And so then the expectation is, okay, well, they're going to be a great assistant. Wrong. No, they're not. They wanted to be an agent, which means that they wanted to do the things that agents do, not the things that executive assistants do. And so that's really the key part of it, right? I think that it is a specific personality type that wants to be a supporter, that wants to integrate things, that wants to create things, that wants to get, the big picture and then drill it down and create it, right? Like the painter that wants to do that. I'm looking for those people most of the time, and I can find them because those are my people. That's also the benefit, right? So I'm not an agent trying to find someone that's like me. I'm actually an integrator looking for other integrators.
Let's talk about the ugly truth. And the ugly truth is this: Venus, you can do your job very well at Legacy Elevate. You can find the perfect integrator for that CEO, for that business. Mm-hmm. And then once they're hired, there's a breakdown. And there's an ugly truth behind the wall, behind the veil. For those that are listening today who are thinking about hiring somebody, what do they not have to do, or what do they need to focus on once that person's hired?
Yeah. So you have to build a foundation with that person. And it's going to take 2 to 6 months. And unfortunately, most CEOs and visionaries are also drivers. You want them to show up and you want your business to quadruple in a week. And you can't understand why it's not.
Maybe 10 days, maybe 10.
Right. And you're so frustrated and you're calling me to be like, what's going on? I don't understand. Well, you gotta create a foundation. If you have systems that work, you're going to have to painstakingly explain those systems to your new partner. If you have systems that don't work, they're going to have a time frame where they are observing what your systems currently are so that they can create a new one. And that means that there's a messy time in between. The people that I'm hiring are true executives. They have done this before. These are not, people that just graduated from high school that have never had a job, right? This is an executive level position. This is someone that is truly going to be a partner for you. So they have a way of thinking in a systematic way that you're going to have to allow them to do. And you also have to be receptive, right? A lot of times, and we have this conversation all the time. You'll say, I want to do this. And I'll say, that's not going to work. That's not feasible in this time frame. If you want to do this, it's going to cost us this much money and it'll take this long. Do you want to do it that bad? Nope, I don't want to do it anymore. Great. So now let's go to the next thing, right? It's the fact that you've got to be open to the fact that they're going to make you uncomfortable because you're both going to be growing.
And I think at Legacy Elevated, we do 2 things that are unique. The first thing, as soon as you hire someone for their company, there's some time attached to that. What does that look like after you've hired someone for those first 30 days?
Yeah, so I meet with the hire for 4 weeks. For anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour per week. And it's really giving them kind of a how-to of when I did this, this is what I did. I observed, I took notes, then I created this, then I looked at the system, then I learned this. It's also a way of me kind of getting them to understand that, especially if you're going to be going into like a new industry, you're moving from manufacturing into real estate into sales into, offshore sale, something else, right? It's a new language that you have to learn, and that takes time. And so the other thing about these people that I'm hiring, they're used to being professionals. They're used to winning. So there's also a little bit of fun, frustration on their part of, man, I'm not getting this. And so it is having that time to be like, okay, here are all of my templates that I used. Here's how I learned the language. This is the book that I read. This is the thing that I listened to. I suggest doing this with your new CEO to understand how they work. And it's kind of holding their hand to set up the systems themselves. But that true time frame is still going to be kind of a little messy. And just understanding that, because I'm not hiring someone to be with you for a year. I'm hiring someone that's going to grow your business till there's nowhere else to grow, right? And that's the joy of it. When you do this the right way, there is no limit to the amount of income either one of you can have, or your position, right? Your position grows as the business grows.
Yeah, and life happens, right? And there is no guarantee in life. However, at Legacy Elevated, there is one guarantee. And what is that for someone that's listening and they've already listened enough to you, Venus, to say, wow, I don't want to do that many interviews. I don't want to do this. And I've hired wrong in the past. What's the guarantee at Legacy Elevated?
Yeah, and if there's any reason that it doesn't work out within the first 6 months, you don't like them, they don't like you, it's not working out, I'm happy to do the process again. For me, I think that I take the time on my front end to make sure that it's the right person. And if for any reason that doesn't work, I'm happy to hire a new person. There's no, I'm comfortable with it. I think that it's the right thing to do.
I love it. Well, I'm going to take you through, Venous, a list of favorites. And here's what I want you to do.
Okay.
It's the fun part of our program where we take you through your favorites. You have to say the first thing that comes to your mind. And you can even say pass if nothing's there.
Okay.
Favorite season?
Summer.
Favorite musical artist?
Ooh, Prince.
Favorite song?
Oh.
First thing.
Oh, man. It's Farsi. It's not even in English. So that's pass.
Favorite cartoon?
Oh, definitely Care Bears.
Favorite movie?
Forrest Gump.
Favorite book?
Ninja Selling.
Favorite podcast?
Legacy Elevated.
Oh, of course. Favorite president?
Probably Lincoln.
Favorite quote?
Oh, Proverbs 27:17.
Which
As iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another.
I love it. Thank you, Venous, for being here on the podcast today. If you were thinking about hiring, if you're trying to figure out what's your next step, your next evolution within your company, so you can truly make an impact with the legacy of your business, reach out to us today so you can hire Venous Chinichian Jones.
Thank you for joining us for the Legacy Elevated podcast, where we reveal the ways to impact the world and leave a legacy that empowers the next generation. Follow us at Legacy Elevated on YouTube and Instagram. And if you have a business that can inspire others, reach out to us today.